Good evening, viewers. I'm Jake Rivera from Anderson News Network. We have three major stories to discuss tonight. Leading Kansas, the Brooks Sumner incident, and the Dred Scott case. During tonight's show, we have Stephen A. Douglas, an eyewitness of the attack of Charles Sumner, along with an interview with Chief Justice Roger B. Taney, who made the final decision on the Dred Scott case. Also, we have field reporter Chris McAvoy getting the reactions of the people in Kansas. Let's send it live to Chris McAvoy in Kansas.
Alright, thanks Jake. I'm here with local resident, Chris. And what are your opinions on all the local voting going on in Kansas?
I feel that it should be white Kansas residents only.
And why is that?
I don't want any of these damn Yankees coming in, taking our property, having all these laws. They don't know what we are. This is only Kansas. This is us. Kansas only.
Alright. And what are your opinions on slavery?
We need it. It's better for all of us. Do you want me out here working in the fields, growing all this cotton by myself? How is that fair?
Hi, Chris. My name is John Smith from Lowell, Massachusetts. I'd just like to speak out against all the horrible outcomes of slavery. Our founding fathers built this nation on the belief that all men were created equal. How can we as a nation be so hypocritical as to criticize nations such as Great Britain, who had oppressed us for years, and yet they have already abolished slavery before us? I believe that goes against all of our principles of the United States of America.
Alright, well, as you can see, things are getting quite intense in Kansas because of whether the state should be free or slave. Back to you, Jake.
Alright, thanks Chris. Coming up next, we have interviewer Jack Rockill sitting down Supreme Court Justice Roger B. Taney. Let's roll the clip.
Welcome to the show today, Roger.
Thanks. Great to be here.
So, Raj. Can I call you Raj? Okay, so Chief Justice Taney, you were the presiding judge over the Dred Scott case. What was your reasoning for your decision?
My ruling was mostly based on the principle that Scott was born a slave, and after a slave's master dying, that does not give him the right to become an American citizenship. My ruling set a precedent that no black, free or enslaved has the right to become a U.S. citizen, nor do they have a right to voice their opinions in court.
Okay, so what is your personal opinion on slavery?
You know, I'm a firm believer in slavery. I believe it's the backbone of the Southern economy. In case you don't know, we are the largest cotton distributor in the entire planet, and that is mostly thanks to slavery. I don't think that'd be able to be done if slavery was abolished. I don't believe that as a judge I have the right to set a precedent that would just butcher not only the Southern economy but also the United States economy as a whole.
Very fair point, fair point. So some federal judges, such as John McLean and Benjamin R. Curtis, have argued that Dred Scott should have been voted free because of the Missouri Compromise. What do you have to say to that?
Well, my colleagues are basing this opinion on the fact that during his time as a slave, Scott was brought above the 3630 line, the line that divides slavery and free states. They're also basing this on the fact that Missouri is above that line and Scott is applying for Missouri citizenship. But what my colleagues don't understand is that Missouri is a slave state, and Scott, as a slave, trying to gain an American citizenship in a slave state, I think is a little hypocritical for those who are enslaved in that area. I also believe that Scott is still a slave and has no right to be free in the South.
Okay. So, some say your decision has caused a greater divide between the North and the South. What do you have to say to these people?
I don't think my decision has made such a rift as people are letting themselves believe. I believe that the unity of our nation can still be maintained, and I don't think the issue of slavery will have to result to fighting in war.
Been great having you here today.
Thanks, great to be here.
Alright, welcome back to the set, Jack. That was quite the conversation you had with Judge Taney.
It was.
So now, give us your thoughts on his views and the overall interview itself.
Well, I felt that he was very resolute in his decision. He thought it was the correct decision, and he also thought that slavery was the best option for us going forward, and that we needed it in order to survive as a country.
Very passionate and a very resolute man he is. But now, shifting gears, let's welcome presidential candidate Stephen A. Douglas. So, hello, Mr. Douglas. Thank you for coming. I know you've been very busy with your presidential campaigns. Just a few questions about the Brooks Sumner incident, and then we'll let you go.
Sounds good.
All right. So, describe to us what happened before. What were the motives and what sparked the big incident?
Well, you see, 2 days before the incident, Charles Sumner gave a speech he titled Slave Power. He denounced the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which I was heavily involved in. In addition to this, he even personally attacked me and Andrew Butler, who was Preston Brooks' cousin. I was extremely upset, but I understood that I was not going to take any action, as that would be uncivilized. However, Brooks did not understand this.
A very peaceful man, I see. Yes. So, Jack, I believe you have some questions for Mr. Douglas as well.
I do. So, Mr. Douglas, in your own words, what happened on May 22nd?
Well, as you see, like, his speech was just ending, Sumner's, and Brooks was very upset. I could even tell days before, like, he was very angry. As the speech was concluding, Brooks walked in and he attacked Sumner. He had a golden cane and started attacking him violently. It was terrible. Sumner was blind, as blood covered his eyes, and I couldn't watch in disgust. Even as the cane broke, he continued to attack him.
Wow. Gold cane, you said?
Yeah, gold cane.
And he was very beaten up badly?
It was bad. Yeah, he even had to go to the hospital.
One more question, then we'll get you out of here. So with all this going on, has this affected your presidential campaign?
This has not affected my presidential campaign at all. My firm beliefs in the rights of state governments to have power, and my belief in manifest destiny, that the right that God gave us to expand our territory, is still instrumental. This case had no effect on my presidential campaign.
All right. Thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Let's see, so.
And now, a recap of what we covered tonight for those of you who may have missed it. Bleeding Kansas and the debate of free statehood versus slave statehood. The Brooks-Sumner incident, in which we discussed the violent caning of Charles Sumner in the Senate. And Judge Taney's voice in his decision in the Dred Scott case. This is Anderson News Network, and I'm your anchor, Jake Rivera. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Good night.